Hello everyone, how are you today? I am here and not at all at 100%, so be patient with me if I speak slowly or am over emotional, but I'm excited to come back to you live. I got hit with a pretty bad virus the last couple of days. As far as we know, it is not COVID. I've tested 4 times. But anyway, we are going to do a story of hope live with one of my amazing clients, and she's going to share her beautiful story. Then I'm also going to give away 2 scholarships, so hang out till the end, and then I will announce scholarship winners. You guys have to be active and engage in today's live in order to get chosen for the scholarship. So let me just see. Caitlin, is there a button where you can request to join me live? You have to be on your phone, not your computer, too, just an FYI. Interesting thing we've learned this week. So, because I don't see the option to add you live. Let's see. Let's see. Let me try. Send request. Cha-cha-cha. Let's see if that worked. Oh, let's see. Okay. You asked me. Oh, and you joined. There we go.
Hi.
Hi. Your hair's long. It looks so pretty.
It's really long.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I have a bit of a cold and I can't hear my volume very well. Let me see where my headphones are. So odd. My volume sounds off, but I'm going to make this work just as is. Hi. How's
Hi.
baby Willow?
She's great. She
Yeah.
started walking this weekend, so, she's full
She's
on,
in it, in the mess. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
really good.
And so why don't you introduce yourself and kind of share a bit of your story so everyone can learn and listen.
Sure, happy to. Hi, I'm Caitlin. Very grateful patient of
Oh,
And I came to you after having encountered challenges on a secondary infertility level. So I have an amazing 5.5-year-old Natalie who was born in 2016. And we had a little bit of a hard time conceiving her. I found out that I had PCOS, which was not something that I had ever been diagnosed
right.
with previously, and had to make some real lifestyle changes, dietary changes. I started doing acupuncture, and once I committed to those changes, it was no problem. So when we were going for number 2, starting in about the fall of 2017, I anticipated that it would be a similar journey, not super easy, but I kind of felt like I know what this means for me. I know what it's going
Yeah.
to take. And instead it was wildly different. Where I ended up getting pregnant pretty easily, but lost that pregnancy and then continued to have that experience multiple times. So
Yeah.
after 3 losses, my OBGYN said, enough is enough. This is no longer like
Yeah. Bad luck.
the
Yeah.
thing that happens, the bad luck. This is real. So we went to a reproductive endocrinologist, who assessed me pretty quickly
I
and
remember this. Yeah.
told me right
Not
away,
our favorite person.
not
Yeah.
a person, no, told me that if he had been judging my age based on what he was seeing in an ultrasound, that he would have guessed I was 10 years older and that the time was now and that it was IVF or nothing. I trusted, because what else do you do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You're at an expert, right? You
Yeah,
would trust the expert
like,
opinion. Yeah.
exactly. So we jumped into IVF and did around that fall. It was fall, I guess, of 2018. And nothing made it even to blastocyst. I had totally fine, like, numbers,
Yeah.
and didn't have any reason to think that IVF wouldn't be our path, that this wouldn't solve it. And we had nothing even survive to blastocyst. So we tried again, a different protocol this time, and the exact same results. And I was devastated. I
Yeah.
was totally fine with a journey being hard, but I wasn't okay with it not
Yeah, not being. Yeah.
ending the way that we envisioned with
Yeah.
adding to our family. So I walked away from him and was led to you, which was
Yes.
a really amazing experience. I think you really validated for me that I should trust that I had this instinct that I could do this, that
Yeah.
my body had successfully done this before. And I think you also made me feel not crazy, questioning some of the things that were said to me, the lack of information shared with me during that whole IVF process. And
Yeah.
I really had my eyes open to, you know, just how much information there is, the
Yeah.
information overload. And in a lot of ways, that stuff gets shielded from
Yes.
patients. So I think that was kind of the moment where I decided to really get as educated as I could.
Yeah, you really stepped into your power. We like adjusted your diet some and your stuff. You were already doing a lot of the things.
Yeah,
It wasn't that much of an adjustment for you, but I think emotionally you really needed the support, like you said, to not feel crazy. Like, is this possible? Can I actually do this? This guy told me donor eggs was my only option. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So after our second round, this doctor had said to me, like, you will never do this with your eggs. I can tell you, and I guarantee you, you will never do this with your eggs.
yes,
You should start talking donor. And that just wasn't right to me. And I
yeah,
think the other thing that I was kind of simultaneously like trying to trust myself on my gut instincts around my ability to do this again, but then also weighing all of the complicated stuff around the fact that I already had a daughter.
yeah.
And that's hard too. Like there's a lot of guilt around the time I was spending
I know,
on this process and what that meant for like time away from her. And
I
then
know.
also guilt when you see others who aren't lucky enough to even have one.
I
And
know.
here I
Yeah, you
was.
carried that so much. It just that's
Yeah,
like your soul. You're so tender, but yeah, you
it
did.
was,
You carried that.
it was a lot. But funnily enough, when you and I met, I happened to get pregnant again naturally.
Very soon, like you
Very,
came in and you were like, "So I'm pregnant,"
I know.
and that was that whole progesterone catastrophe. Remember?
Yes, I do.
I mean, if we want to go into that, we don't really have to. I was like, someone has to get you on progesterone. Her gynecologist gave her one pressary. That's how you say it, right? One day of progesterone or something like that. Do you remember? You were traveling.
I didn't even get anything. I couldn't get a prescription to go get my progesterone tested anyway.
That's what it was. Yes.
And it's not a test that you can walk in and have
Yeah.
done. Like you need to have a prescription done.
And then you
I
miscarried that.
got pregnancy also. But that's when,
That's when I basically was like, you have to go see Dr.
sure,
Scher. And
yeah.
that's that. Yeah.
So I started seeing Dr. Jonathan Scher. For anyone in New York, tri-state area. He is amazing.
Yeah.
But he's like a detective, and
Yeah.
he did all of his testing and discovered all of these things, which, by the way, you predicted he would find some underlying autoimmune issues, blood clotting factors that don't really have an impact on my daily life. I don't have
Yeah.
any symptoms that would point me
Yeah.
there. But it
And
was,
chances are they got triggered by the first pregnancy because that's typically what happens. A pregnancy can trigger an autoimmune condition in a woman because it's such an immune challenge. Pregnancy is. It's one of the biggest like immune challenges that we actually go through. And so in a lot of women, it'll trigger that.
yeah. So we did a couple of months with him of just sort of like messing with
Hmm.
timing of medications and the right sort of combination of things. But pretty much everything was either like over the
And he
counter
felt the same way. You do not
or,
need IVF.
yeah.
Remember, he was like, same thing, no IVF for you.
And he also really affirmed that my gut instincts were dead on in terms of like the things this Ari was saying to me were not actually backed by information. It was
Yeah.
all very much,
Yeah. Based on your lack of success at this point. That's what it
yeah,
was. Yeah.
exactly, that I don't have,
You don't have good eggs left, basically. They've all gone bad. And good luck. Yeah.
Yes, and that wasn't the case. So 3 months in, I was pregnant and it stuck.
It's stuck. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Tell the part of the story. So Jonathan Scher is the doctor's name. Someone asked. When some people might find this maybe not super medically professional, but I thought it was. I still tell the story. I think it was so sweet when you got to the heartbeat. You remember, and he like touched your leg. He was like, "We did it." He got like
Oh,
so emotional with you. Yeah.
I had gone through 4 losses prior to, and I just like, and I'd had so many situations where we discovered that the pregnancy was failing because I went in for an ultrasound. It was like an empty sac situation. So I was just panicked about, I needed to see this on screen. I needed to hear that
Yeah.
heartbeat, I needed to see that something was growing. So he saw me really early and he saw all the right signs. We saw like a fetal pole and a yolk sac, and all of that looked really great. And then a couple weeks later, we went in to hear a heartbeat, and he like got so emotional. He's
Yeah.
gonna sound creepy, but he like kissed my leg and he like, we
Your
did.
parents were in the room, right? Weren't they? It was like very like lovey. Yeah.
I was in the room alone at first. I didn't want them to be there. For some reason, it was not great.
Yeah.
But he looked at me and he was like, "We did it. This baby
Oh.
is kicking." And he's like, "I know it. I know it from now. This is it. This is your baby." And he called my parents in and he showed them.
Oh.
He like walked them through everything they were seeing on the screen. And it was just magical. It just sort of felt like this was supposed to be how it was, and
Yeah.
he was that person who was supposed to help me get there, and he was that excited for every appointment, and
Yeah.
it was really great.
Yeah. So amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess share with everyone too of like during that time when you were having the losses and going through IVF and like, getting such negative news. I don't know, what would be your advice to people that are there now?
I think my biggest advice would be to actually feel it and not shove it under the rug.
Yeah.
I definitely had times where I think I tried just to like carry on, and then it would creep up on me. It would creep up on me afterwards in really tough ways or unexpected ways. And I wish that I had just kind of allowed myself to feel it, allowed myself
Yeah.
to be in it a little bit.
Yeah.
I also think it's really helpful to find someone who you can talk to about it, and outside of your partner, outside
Yeah.
of
Agreed.
even your
Agreed.
family,
Yeah.
because you might need a little bit of objectivity or someone who you can just say, like, I just need you to listen. And then also finding others who are in it too. I did end up finding a couple of people who had really similar experiences, even some people who had like, we went to the same clinic and
Yeah.
had similarly rocky roads. But finding those people
Yeah,
goes,
that was validating to be like, okay, so I'm not the only crazy one. I'm not the only one who's been told that this isn't going to work for me.
yeah,
And yeah, and here I am. I had a live with a girl earlier in the week, similar clinic, and they gave her a 1% chance, 1% at the age of 38 or 39, and then at 40, like 44, she made healthy embryos and
yeah,
gave birth right before 45.
I know. And it's not to say that like IVF is an amazing option. It's an
Sure.
amazing science. And for a lot of people, it is the answer. But my husband often jokes that a lot of these doctors, it's like when you're holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, 100%.
So, you have to kind of find the people and make sure you feel good about
Yeah,
that's a recommendation because of XYZ. And
yeah,
that's the thing that I think I had to learn is a little bit
yeah,
like self-advocacy in that.
yeah. And then what about like diet and lifestyle? You pretty much stuck to the whole plan in pregnancy too, if I remember. It was like,
I did. Well, I think I just sort of figured that like if I needed to make some diet changes for the first one, and then also I believe that it played a really big part for the second one. Um, Clearly, there's something about my body that just works better
yeah,
when making those changes. So yeah, I stuck with it, and I pretty much to this day, still follow the same general plan. I ended up having gestational
I
diabetes, which
remember.
was
Yeah.
frustrating after having gone
Yeah,
through
after how clean you ate. But that's also a sign, like the PCOS, like it's pretty common that it's going to
that.
kick in, but it's also a sign of the autoimmunity. It's sometimes in women with autoimmunity, it's just hard. You could have perfect diet and it'd be impossible to manage. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's a lot of what my, OBGYN and that team were saying to me is like, this is actually not about what you're eating, which everyone would lead you to believe that it is, but this is just how your body is
Yeah.
processing,
How it's reacting to the
producing
pregnancy.
hormones. Um, but I have to say it was a pretty amazing pregnancy otherwise. And I think taking really good care of myself in the lead up had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I found out I was pregnant in January of 2020. So it was a pandemic pregnancy,
Yeah.
which was wild, but in a lot of ways, pretty great.
Yeah.
I normally commute into Manhattan from New Jersey, and it was pretty great to not have to do that while pregnant, especially in a pregnancy that I was protective of and
Yes.
had a little concern around.
Yeah.
There was a real silver lining to,
Yeah, I think I got to see you once in the pregnancy. You came to
yeah,
the NIAC office. I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, there
When you
was
were very pregnant.
that part of it that was really great and that I'm grateful for.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
know. Well, this was so lovely. I'm trying to think too of like, yeah, so I think the big things is like advocating for yourself, finding the right team, and getting support outside your immediate circle of loved ones, you know? So it's like bringing someone like me on your team, or like, you know, you were a part of some of the online groups and like that was really helpful for you. And just like you said, a sense of, I always say sharing lifts the shame, you know, where it's like, okay, I'm not alone in this. I'm not insane. I'm not crazy. This doctor made me feel like I'm crazy. There was a lot of healing around that piece for
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah, I
Like
think
I even remember when you saw Cher and you were like, he says he thinks I can do it on my own too. Like, you still think that? And I'm like, I still think that. I do, you know. And I think the first cycle on all the meds and stuff, you didn't get pregnant. We were pretty upset. I do remember that. But then the next cycle, it all worked out, didn't it? Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And I think there's also a thing around, which is probably the hardest. How do you find the happy medium of advocating for yourself and like taking on some of the changes and things that you need to make, and that you will feel better if you feel like you are participating in the
Yeah.
success, but then also not beating yourself up because there's a whole lot of this is just not
Yeah, there's
controllable.
a whole lot of things you could be doing. And that's why I do think you have to, you know, I've been saying a lot lately because I was like, over the summer I had 2 weeks off, so I took advantage of the time and I literally bought and read every single like Amazon bestseller in the fertility space. Like 20 books, you know. 2 of them are mine, which is a compliment, but I'd say almost 70% or 60% maybe I'll say are written by people who are educated. They're definitely educated. They've definitely done their research, but they are not clinicians. They actually aren't seeing patients day in and day out. And I really respect the advice and the information in those books, but it can be really overwhelming because when you are in a clinical setting, you can see like, oh, Caitlin, you know, doesn't do well on 600 CoQ10. She does better on 400, or she doesn't need the DHEA because, you know, like whatever it is. And it's really, I think that piece too is just so overwhelming for all the women out there of like, who do you trust? Where do you go? And how do you put it all together for yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's so overwhelming, and it's easy to find conflicting stuff, and it's also easy to hear the like miracle
I
stories,
know.
which are amazing and inspiring, but then also become, I think, sometimes problematic. So
Yeah. Yeah. Because
yeah,
then you're like, what's wrong with me? It worked for her. What's wrong with
yeah,
me?
yeah,
You start to feel so left out. I know.
yeah, totally. So I don't know. My whole thing is I've just tried to be really honest and candid with the like people in my life and even like more broadly in my life around what I went through and
I think
I
it's
don't
so important.
any
Because
and
how many times then when you share too, did people come out and share their own stories, right?
oh 100%. 100%.
And then it's like that again, same thing of feeling less alone and less alone and less alone. I know it's like the diet and the supplements for like one piece, you know what I mean? And then there's this huge mental emotional piece that there's a big void there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
well, thank you, my love.
Now I got my two
I
girls.
know that's what you wanted. You got them.
Yeah,
Best.
yeah. So it's all good.
I know. I'm happy for you. Oh, you're welcome. Happy to be a part of it. Um, I knew we would get there. You know, I hate seeing people so crushed by the system in a sense. You know, it's like that's shitty and annoying. Um,
Gosh, that's how it feels though. It feels um yeah.
but we navigated. We got you to the right doctor. You know, that's like the favorite part of my job of like, you know, this is the person for you. No, this is the person for you. You know, leave that doctor.
Yeah.
Um, well, everything is overwhelming. Yes, to hear that. I'm not the only one because it does feel like I'm the only one who has a problem. Very relatable. Oh, everybody relates so much. Yeah. All right. I know you have to go. I know you have a hard stop, so I can let you go. I'm going to give away 2 scholarships to my Yes You Can Get Pregnant eCourse. So you don't have to stick around for that if you don't want to.
Hey, bye. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, my love.
Lovely to have found you.
Oh, I feel the same. I feel the same. I like I was said, I was not feeling well this morning. My team's like, "Do you want to like reschedule everything?" I was like, I have to do this with Caitlin. I just want to see her too. Her long hair. She's always dressed so lovely.
You
But
can't my
okay.
leg.
All right, I will. You can X yourself out, and then I'm going to stay on and give away some scholarships, guys. And love you. Keep me posted on everything. Okay. Goodbye. Mwah. Um, Yeah, when you're holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I know, so funny. Okay, guys, so I want to give away 2 scholarships because I missed scholarship giveaway yesterday and I'm running out of energy ASAP. So what you need to do is start commenting on the post and I'll see who's still active and present and who wants to win a scholarship to my Yes You Can Get Pregnant eCourse, which enrollment closes today at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. I am I revamp the course every year. This year I've revamped it so much I'm actually going to teach it live. I'm super psyched. Classes start on Thursday. You don't have to attend live. Everything's recorded. We have weekly Q&As that will be happening in our private online community where you're also going to get an incredible amount of support from women just like you so you will feel less alone and more supported. We never kick you out of the group. You can be in the group as long as it takes you to make this baby. Once you are pregnant, we move you to the new mama group. You get an incredible amount of bonuses. And yeah, head over to my website, amyroth.com/yes to see what the program is all about. We only open it for enrollment once a year, so you want to take advantage and get in now. And let's just see. Okay, you guys. Okay, I do. Let's see. 8 years of trying, 0 pregnancies. I want to read everybody's before I choose because I just think that's fair. Dr. Luke, hi, nice to see you. She was so inspiring, kept at it, and found the right team. Love this live. Would love the scholarship to figure this out after 4 losses. Okay, Jen Miles, you're going to win a scholarship. Just message us on DM us, and we're going to set it up for you. So Jen Miles, you get one. And let's see. Oh, you guys are so cute. My God, it's so hard to pick. Unexplained, would love to find the right team. I'm at the end of my hope. Okay, Facing Destiny 1922. You get the other scholarship. Okay, so there we go. I started Body Belief. I'm so amazed by everything you are teaching us. Oh, well, thank you. Been following every day. Maybe, okay. Oh, I feel bad. I always feel bad when I don't pick everyone. It's such a hard thing for me. But if you did fill out the scholarship application, please check your inbox because you do have a very hefty discount to the course. And what else? Enrollment's going to close tonight. And I'll see the scholarship winners in there. We did open up a 7-payment plan. So for those of you that financially it's a challenge, I think it's $227 a month for 7 months. So I hope that that's feasible. I've made it less than most car payments intentionally. Yeah, join us. You won't ever regret it. Go read the testimonials on the website. Every single woman, the number one thing they say is it's a big investment. It's the best thing I've ever done for myself. Big investment, best thing I've ever done for myself. They make friends, like best friends. They get weekly support from me. They get 24/7 support from each other. Again, a secret online community. No one will ever know you're a member of it. And it's not on Facebook as of this year. And again, I'm going to be teaching it live this year because like I just said to Caitlin, I've read all the current fertility books out there and really want to help you decipher like what's real, what's clinically relevant, and what could potentially actually hurt you or harm you. And why you need a solid clinician on your team who not just can do the mental, spiritual, emotional work too. Like I'm very savvy in all of that. I've written books on the topic. I myself have evolved tremendously over the last 2 decades in my own life, but I have a biology and chemistry degree. I have I'm working on a degree in functional medicine. I am a Chinese acupuncturist and herbalist. I teach other acupuncturists and herbalists at the doctorate level. I speak to other professionals in my group on a regular basis. If a professional is the one having a hard time getting pregnant, they come to me. So yeah, let me be the one to support you, okay? You can get all of Amy's pregnancy recs and her pregnancy new mama guide, that's right. Is there any discount still available? I missed the day for sending the request for scholarship. I'll let my team answer that, and I'm gonna go, guys. I'm going to go lay down again, but I love you. Get in for enrollment. Again, it's going to close in 9 hours. So I will, is that right? 12:59, 10 hours? I can't even do math right now. Is that how terrible? At 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, the doors will close for an entire year, and you won't be able to get in again. If you want me guiding you on your case, and you want weekly support from this brain, and by the way, you guys, once you're in the group, you get discounts to everything else I put out. You are the first to know. You can ask the girls, Egg Quality Diet. They were the first to see that book. Yeah, you are the first in on anything else I create, and I am a creation junkie. So you are always, always hip to the latest and greatest research and information that I come across. This is not a stingy group. Again, I don't ever kick you out. Many of the programs end and your Facebook or your online community disappears. That is not how this works. People see the value of my weekly Q&As as one of the most valuable pieces of the course. I have girls that are still in the program coming back to have baby number 2. We, again, never kick you out. Okay. Love you guys. See you soon.